हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनदर वन क्रिकेट लाइव वीडियो। आज हम बात करेंगे अभी जस्ट खत्म हुआ है ऑस्ट्रेलिया और न्यूजीलैंड का मैच। ऑस्ट्रेलिया हैज लॉस्ट द गेम बाय अ whopping 89 runs. What do you have to say about that?
I will just say that in the morning I told it's going to be New Zealand.
Yes, I remember आपने प्रेडिक्ट किया था सुबह के फैंटेसी एनालिसिस वाले वीडियो में and you were right and you picked Conway to be the captain. Match winner and the captain.
Yes.
And he won.
Yes. So all my predictions went right.
Yeah.
That's a big positive. What is your take on this match?
Basically, they did not predict the pitch right. They would have expected it to do a lot more because it was raining. But just because the covers were on, it tended to be on the slower side, and eventually it got slower when the ball got older.
Yes. I agree with that.
Where the batting of Australia struggled.
Yes. Of course, in the second half it got a bit slower.
Yeah.
तो वही हम लोगों को देखने को मिला that they weren't able to chase the big target.
और अगर बात की जाए फिन एलन की, what a beauty, even Devon Conway, but जिस तरीके से फिन एलन ने शुरू किया है ये मैच, it was something else. What a sight to see from New Zealand.
Basically, the innings that Devon Conway played, it was more of an anchor kind of a role.
Right.
So, but the tone was set by Finn Allen. क्योंकि 16 ball 42 runs, he just set the tone. He just gave Conway the confidence to get settled, get adjusted to the conditions, and then win big.
Actually, they did not start off with Guptill, which came as a surprise to many. And since these two have backed it up, that they don't need Martin Guptill, this is a very big positive heading into the next games. Because now they'll be breathing confidence, and Kane Williamson will be very happy with the decision that they have taken.
Yes.
Even leaving out Bracewell, as we were saying that we were not expecting कि Bracewell को बाहर छोड़ा जाएगा, but अभी समझ आ रहा है कि मतलब शायद केन विलियमसन काफी टैक्टिकल तरीके से सब कुछ देख रहे हैं और जो कॉम्बिनेशन उन्होंने सेट की है विद फिन एलन और डेवॉन कॉनवे ऑलरेडी ऑब्वियसली काफी सालों से बहुत अच्छा खेल रहे हैं कंसिस्टेंटली.
चैपमैन might still like mess up in a few games. ऐसा हो सकता है कि we might see Bracewell in the next game itself because it will be basically based on the opposition कि उनके पास कितने लेफ्ट हैंडर्स हैं, राइट हैंडर्स हैं. That is where they will decide कि ब्रेसवेल के साथ जाना है कि चैपमैन के साथ जाना है.
जी, जैसे हमने प्रेडिक्ट किया था कि न्यूजीलैंड जीतेगी, बट क्या आप एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि वो इतने बड़े मार्जिन से?
No, basically मैंने सोचा था कि it being the home condition for Australia, they would have given a much more better fight. But still, I had a gut feeling that New Zealand will win, and in fact, after this win, I would go one step further. I have the gut feeling that New Zealand will make it to the semi-finals at the least.
Why you keep predicting things like into semi-finals and finals? Why can't you say that they'll win the group or something like that?
They will top the group. There is no doubt they will top the group.
Okay, so they'll top the group. And by the way, the biggest talking point at this point is that New Zealand has done something very big because they haven't defeated Australia for the past 11 years in Australia. So this is their first victory in over a decade in the Australian soil. सबसे बड़ी चीज ये थी कि ऑस्ट्रेलिया अपने ग्राउंड पे खेल रही थी पर उन्हें नहीं पता था ये पिच क्या करने वाली है.
हाँ.
और बात करें T20 की तो 15 साल हो चुके हैं.
मतलब from the very beginning they have not won any match. Australia.
काफी टाइम हो गया है. और बात करें केन विलियमसन की तो टैक्टिकल कैप्टनशिप तो बहुत अच्छे से निभा रहे हैं लेकिन बैटिंग.
So I would just turn to you, Badal. Do you remember me trusting Kane the captain and Kane the batter, not the Kane the batter?
Okay, I remember that you trusted Kane Williamson the captain. You did not trust Kane Williamson the batter, but he did not do. You can say it was not a blunder.
No, he was not a blunder.
It was still an anchoring innings. Had he hit two boundaries of the last two deliveries, it would have been a much better striker, and he would not have been questioning the batsman. I don't believe we are still questioning the batsman because this performance does not say that you have to question him. They scored over 200. He was the anchor. The others did the job around him. While we had that discussion, I made it pretty clear that Kane Williamson can alone be the anchor. Around him, everyone can go all guns blazing, and that is what happened.
All you said, everything accepted, but the only thing is that when you have set up your innings, when you are at 23 of 22 deliveries, you need to go big.
Yeah, you need to go big, but every time you will not be able to go big.
And every time
fail, and that is what happened.
But the failure is in the different times.
This is also about what kind of player Kane Williamson is, you know.
Yes, of course. But the thing is, not every time Devon Conway will be saving you, and not every time.
No one saved him. No one saved him. Don't talk things that like don't make any sense. Who is here to save Kane Williamson?
Kane Williamson's effort will get means his 100 strike rate will get ignored only because New Zealand won today.
His strike rate will still get ignored irrespective of they win or they lose. He is the only anchor. He'll stay in the team. You can't play without him. If you play without him, you'll have a team full of power hitters and eventually they will collapse.
I mean, I kind of agree because, like I've always said, I've also written something about this कि T20 में एक बैटिंग लाइनअप में एक या दो एंकर्स चाहिए होते हैं क्योंकि सब जाके रिस्क नहीं ले सकते बाहर क्योंकि again
I remember you saying that Kane Williamson is the heartbeat. He will decide the big games because when the pressure comes, these pedigree players step up. And now you're questioning the same pedigree player.
I was clear to you then also that I don't trust Kane Williamson, the batter. He is the pedigree player, of course, but Kane Williamson, the captain, will decide how far New Zealand goes in this.
So basically, what I can say is you don't trust Steve Smith, you don't trust Kane Williamson, you
We are
don't
not
trust
talking about
Virat
that.
Kohli.
Actually,
Who do you trust?
I am not talking about Virat Kohli. See, I am telling you that Kane Williamson's recent form. It means cricket has evolved that much that you don't need a player who is going at 100 or 120 strike rate. You need a player who can, means you need a player like David Malan who can set it up and then go big, who can make it big. But Kane Williamson, I hope in the recent time is not up to the mark. That's what.
Recent forms, if you talk about recent forms, a few months back, Virat Kohli struggling for his 100 over.
Yes, of course.
So according to your logic, he should have been dropped.
You are dropping the point. You are going away from the point.
Right.
Yes, the basic point is that Kane Williamson's recent form is making him means he is not being. The whole team is getting means drawn back due because of his performance.
he might not, he's not matching up to the other
Yes,
players.
yes.
Is what you're trying to say.
Yes. In any given day, a pedigree player like him can come back to form.
Of
That's what I said in that analysis also.
I mean, he is capable enough to bat to that level of.
Yes.
Suppose question him, say that he is, you're not
who am I to question Kane Williamson?
and then you say that he'll bounce back in form, he will bounce back on
Who am I to question Kane Williamson?
It's just an analysis.
Yes.
Then, when we go to Australia, when we look at their bowling stats, Josh Hazelwood is the only player with a worthwhile amount of wickets. He took 2 wickets and Adam Zampa was the other one with 1 wicket. Was that disappointing looking at how much, I mean, Stark in the beginning?
I think those first 2 overs set the tone. Australia's immediately their confidence dropped after Finn Allen took that up to them. That made it easier for the latter batters, means the batters that came in the middle order to go according to their own pace. So I think the way Finn Allen destructed the mentality of the Australian bowlers at the beginning, that did the job.
And especially the fact that he thrashed Mitchell Stark because he's the one who sets the tone.
Yes.
And we have talked about this in the past.
Stark being the decisive factor.
And Stark is basically someone who will get thrashed on days, and on days he will take 3 to 4 wickets.
3 to 4 wickets.
It did not happen and everything collapsed.
Yes.
Hazelwood, everyone expects him to be consistent with and that is what he did, and he got the reward.
और ऑस्ट्रेलियन ओपनिंग की बात की जाए, डेविड वार्नर, एरन फिंच, both of them veterans of the game, veterans of Australia. लेकिन जो उनसे fireworks expect कर रहे हो काफी दिनों से दिख नहीं रहे.
I would say that once again here also the tone was set when David Warner got up to that shot. It was very unlucky. A big player like David Warner, an impact player like David Warner getting out so early in a big chase, that really set Australia back.
और एरन फिंच, his form continues.
So the fact that you don't trust Kane Williamson, I think you will say that he does not deserve a place in the 11.
Who?
Finch.
Finch, I also said, means before also I also said that he is only there because he won the last World Cup for them leading the team. Otherwise it would have been Cameron Green if he was not the captain.
And the fact that David Warner got out could have been neglected if Aaron Finch had played the anchor role and Marsh could have fired. But it was a proper batting collapse, and just because the total was 200, it looked as if Australia could not tackle it. But I think the things went wrong in the first innings itself, where they conceded 200 because the pitch was not a 200 pitch, it was around 170 at max.
Yeah.
So 200 was above par.
So I would like to put a question to both of you that since the top order crumbled today for Australia, did you feel that in suddenly the middle order got exposed? There were a lot of players who were trying to, means it was not clear to them what they need to do. Do you think that?
Mitchell, when we talk about number 3 comes in Mitchell Marsh. He's not bowling. तो एक वो प्रेशर रहता है कि आई हैव टू डिलीवर इन बैटिंग, या फिर मैं जस्टिफाई कैसे करूँ कि मुझे स्क्वाड में जगह मिली है. तो मिचेल मार्श आई थिंक हैज बीन अंडर प्रेशर अ लॉट. पिछली सीरीज में भी ही वाज हॉट एंड कोल्ड, मतलब उतना जितना उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन होना चाहिए आ नहीं रहा है मिचेल मार्श का. फिर ग्लेन मैक्सवेल प्लेड फाइटिंग इनिंग्स, ट्राई किया उन्होंने काफी, बट अगेन he was
Way too
unlucky.
many reverse sweeps ended up paying.
Yes,
the price.
what would you say to that? Means when your team is struggling, means that you have lost 5 to 6 wickets. Was that necessary?
Actually, it was not necessary, but that is how he plays.
Yes.
We can't question the way he plays. It is
IPL
obvious.
has done that to him.
No. It's not IPL that has done anything to him. He is that way, and that is why he gets the big bucks and still ends up struggling, and then again gets the big bucks and ends up struggling. That has been a story of
All
a
the
long time.
all-rounders, Marcus Stoinis.
Actually, the problem is back in 2021, they won the World Cup because leading into the World Cup 3 months back, they decided this is our playing 11 and we'll stick to it. But
Yes.
this time around, the story is completely different. They're not trusted the playing 11. They did not have a settled playing 11 because Marsh has been injured for a while. Marcus Stoinis has been injured. Tim David has recently joined the.
Even Warner has not played too much of.
And the fact that you decided that you will open with Finch and Warner, then why did Finch try himself at number 3, number 4 in the last few T20s? He should have stuck with opening, because had he been back in form, this could have been a completely different side. Because you know that Marsh, Stoinis, all are struggling, man.
Experimentation is normal, सभी करते हैं, इंडिया भी कर रही
Just before the match, just before a World Cup match, you're experimenting with your season opener, who is the captain himself.
India also did that. We also
That is
did
why
that.
India-
that is the thing, that a lot of confusion in the team that led to ultimately to the
With
disastrous
that,
start.
When we
close to a tournament, I think you should stop experimenting
Yes,
and start
definitely.
fine tuning.
Because last time they won it just because they had a pre-decided 11
Settled
3
11.
months prior to the World Cup.
Yes.
This time around, I don't know why they tinkered it. They had a settled unit. They could have played the same 11 that they played last time around with an addition of Tim David. That could have made them much more explosive. Same goes with India. We have been trying and testing too many things, and eventually, if we keep trying things, we will follow.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that, I think, after tomorrow's match.
Okay.
No, prior to the match and then after the match.
And New Zealand bowling again phenomenal.
Yes,
And up
just
the
on the money.
Yes, they've been phenomenal. I think that it
That
was so
bowling unit can
brilliant.
defend 160, 150 as well. And now you're giving them 200, they'll be like, okay, we'll do it. That is easy for us.
And basically today Trent won't look back in form. So
Yeah.
what impact will it have in New Zealand's journey in the tournament? What do you think?
Of course, Trent Bolt is the key player when it comes to New Zealand. Southee भी है, Mitchell Santner भी है. So I think it gives them that assurance कि everyone is doing well, सब अपना contribution दे रहे हैं, हर end से pressure आ रहा है. I think New Zealand will be very good at defending.
The duo is back.
Yes.
Fear them because that
Bolt and
duo,
Southee.
along with
Yeah.
an aggressive top order back in 2015, went to the final in the ODI format. The same can happen this time because they have a top order that's firing. The bowling duo is back. They have a great spin combination. The only concern after this match will be that can our middle order sustain it? What if the top order collapses? Can the middle order take it through? If that happens, then this team can not just go to the semi-finals, they can eventually lose the final.
But what I am thinking now is the very hypothetical situation. The way the group has started, New Zealand is probably going to top the group. If India becomes second, I'm seeing a repeat of that 2019 semi-final. Trent Bolt.
Okay, the same old story like that, but it will be pretty much clear tomorrow because when Shine comes in against the top order of India, it will be clear if we are good enough to handle him. If we are good enough to handle Shine, I think we can handle Bolt.
Of course.
Yes.
There's a question in the live chat by Mr. Vishal. ये पूछ रहा है कि would you be tempted to bring in Green for March? 5 bowlers in Australia will be an issue.
No, I will not do that.
Why would you bring in Green for March? Why not bring in Green for either Finch or Warner?
Actually, everyone will agree to the fact that you can bring in Green for Finch, but he's the captain, so obviously we cannot drop him. He's untouchable. Warner is irreplaceable. That man cannot be dropped. If he is dropped, I think Australian fans will take the street.
See, I would just tell you that if Green has to be included in this equation, the only place you can try him out is replacing Tim David because
Why not Marcus Stoinis?
I think Marcus Khan is
A few days back, you were ready to drop Marcus Stoinis for
for team debut. Yes, the only that since Green was not in the equation then, when we had that discussion, Green was not in the equation. Since Green is in the equation now, Green is a much better bowler than Team David. And
where do you
yes,
match it?
that's what I am telling you. Drop Finch to number 3, set Green to opening, and
Then you will eventually lose the World Cup.
that's just to include Green in the equation.
Yeah. But if you try that because Finch himself said a few days back that I am just doing it so that we can try a few things. I will open throughout the World Cup. And now if he comes down to 3 in the second match, it is pretty much evident that you are not confident about your batting unit.
That I don't think they are actually they are not confident enough about their batting unit. That is the first thing, and the second thing is that if Finch goes down, I think Maxwell comes at number 5 then, and I think that's the proper place Maxwell should be batting at.
Maxwell should be batting at number 5.
Yes, Maxwell at number 4. Well, suddenly when the 2 wickets fell down today.
Do you know that the most impact that Maxwell has in the BBL is batting up top,
Yes, of course.
and you are dragging him to number 5.
Again, don't compare a league with international cricket.
The fact that
the
the
league
is played in Australia, and the fact that he captains the side, and the fact that he has done well has a certain value, even though the quality of the players is not the same, but it still has a certain value.
Marcus Stoinis used to open in BBL. Would you just drop David Warner, Aaron Finch? And
I did not say drop Aaron Finch and do. I said stick with Maxwell where he is. Don't
That is what I am telling, that when a national side is playing, it's about the combinations, it's about the top 11 players of that nation
And
representing the team.
Maxwell is pretty much where he should be.
So
I think this should be it because we have another match to
we should have this conversation again before New Zealand's second match. But for now, let's talk about the fantasy for today's second match, which is England versus Afghanistan.
Okay. And as we get to news that England have won the toss
And opted to bowl.
okay.
I mean, pretty predictable for an Australian pitch. Anyone would want to chase. And how does that? What are your, when we talk about fantasy picks, head to head, and
Since
winner
again,
takes it all?
if we go into head-to-head contests, I would, because see, Rahmanullah Gurbaaz had got injured in that practice match. He was taken off the field. So I would go as a keeper, only one keeper. That would be, I would take Josh Butler.
In phenomenal form.
Yes, of course. And in case, means if we are talking about head-to-head contests, then my batters would be Liam Livingstone, David Malan, Ibrahim Zadran and Nazibullah Zadran.
Okay.
And the all-rounders would be Moeen Ali, Sam Curran and Mohammad Nabi. And
When you pick Sam Curran, you back Sam Curran a lot. मैंने देखा है आपको काफी फैंटेसीज में और काफी हमारे जो लाइव भी हो चुके हैं फॉर्ट एनालिसिस Sam Curran, why is that?
have a closer look at the 11, you will see there is a CSK bias in it.
no,
It is pretty much evident. Moeen Ali, Sam Curran, Mahmood has also played for CSK.
no,
I
the
mean,
others haven't played, yes.
Yeah.
But
What is
again,
that Sam Curran factor for you?
see, basically, Sam Curran as an all-rounder, he can bowl in the death. He will give you those 1 or 2 wickets.
Right.
He can come up if required. They can use him as a pinch hitter if required. And he can also means if he is coming up.
Is Brooks Stokes in the playing 11 of England for the day? Why not him?
See, I am going for a safer team. This one is as it is a head-to-head contest. I am not going with quick spokes in this team because he is coming back after a few means he is lacking match time.
Right.
He is lacking game time. That's why I am not including him in this. In the bowler, I would just take Mark Wood, Fazal Farooqi and Rashid.
I would have preferred Chris Stokes here because the middle
And
order.
England have gone with Jordan, Chris Jordan.
Harry Brooks is also part of the playing 11, and you have not.
Harry Brooks means actually.
Yeah, this was prepared. This playing 11 was prepared prior to the announcement of the 11. You can make changes according
As
to
per the
playing
latest 11, and as Dargi said that Chris Jordan has been included, just don't take him in the team. He will be coming in the death over and giving another 60 runs.
I'll say it's a Afghanistan game. You can still back Chris Jordan for this game. If there's another team that has a better betting unit, then you might think of dropping it. But
if you can move towards the riskier team, means for the winner takes it all, I would go with Josh Butler again as the keeper, but this time I would make him the captain of the team. And my batters will be Alex Hales, Liam Livingstone, David Malan and Ibrahim Zadran. Alex Sells is the extra factor here. Means I have
Okay.
changed that. And the all-rounders will be Nabi and Moeen Ali. And for the bowlers, I would go with, this time I would go with Chris Oakes, as you have asked me. Rashid Khan, Mark Wood, and Fazal Faruqi. My captain would be, as I said, Josh Butler, and my vice captain would be Mark Wood in this case.
And so both the teams pretty much signal that it's an England win.
Yes. I am
But
going
I'll
with
say the fact that England have decided to bowl first, it might play into Afghanistan's hand. If they eventually don't score enough runs, like if consider for the fact Afghanistan go past 160, 170 on that wicket, the strength is bowling. They are one of the best spin combinations in the world. They have the best bowler in world T20I in Rashid Khan. Mujibur Rahman is there to support him. Mohammad Nabi can also chip in with the overs. Fazal Faruqi has been absolutely sensational in the recent past. So 160 to 170 could give Afghanistan a chance to defend that total, and all this might go in vain.
See, the first thing I would say is that the names that we have taken and the names that dominate this Afghanistan bowling are all spinners. Mohammad Nabi, Mujibur Rahman, and Rashid Khan. Being a typical cricket fan for a long time, I have seen the Australian pitches not favoring spinners that much, and especially it is a pitch at Perth.
Of course.
So trust your pacers. What is your take on this? Spinners, pacers, what?
Which is another मतलब एक लाइव चैट में क्वेश्चन आया है जो काफी सिमिलर है इसके. They have asked, Mr. Arjun Bhalla has asked, any thoughts on England's playing 11? Very heavy batting side, bowling not that strong in my opinion. उनके not bad. तो इस पे मैं कहना चाहूंगी yes, England has always been a very a team that has a very deep batting set. उनका बहुत deep जाता है batting when it comes to batting of course, because जब भी कोई भी अगर सिचुएशन रहे, इंग्लैंड हैव द कैपेसिटी कि वो कहीं से भी मैच पलटा सके अगर इफ दे आर बैटिंग एंड द पावर इज इन देयर हैंड्स. तो बॉलिंग की बात की जाए कि इंग्लैंड की पिचेस पे आई डोंट थिंक ऑस्ट्रेलियन की पिचेस पे आई डोंट थिंक इंग्लैंड के पास उस तरीके के बॉलर्स हैं जो कैपिटलाइज कर पाए उस सिचुएशन.
To some extent you are right. I would agree with you कि मतलब वैसे bowlers नहीं है, but I think the X factor in this bowling attack, that 11 that is playing today, would be Mark Wood.
I'll go with Chris Oakes because of the length that he hits, and the middle order might struggle against Oakes. Apart from that, I'll still back Afghanistan to have a chance just because of the spinners, and I'll tell you that these Australian pitches that I have seen so far in the group stage are not the pitches that until and unless it's a completely fresh wicket, I'll say the spinners will come into the game. And even if it is typical Australian wickets, Mujibur Rahman and Rashid Khan as well as Mohammad Nabi have done it in the BBL. I know you don't give any value to BBL, but I'll give a certain value to BBL because they have experience of playing in Australia. And by the way, this is Afghanistan's first ever T20I in Australia. That is also an interesting thing, and that will motivate them because if they pull this off in the first game itself against England.
But the thing is that again that since England has sent them to bat first, I think most of their game that they play are in the Asian conditions. I think the battles more than the bowling lineup, I think their batters will struggle.
और आई थिंक जैसे हम देख रहे हैं कि ऑस्ट्रेलियन पिचेस जैसे यूजुअली होते हैं लाइक बादल सेड कि यू कैन हिट द विकेट एंड इट्स गोइंग टू बी कंप्लीटली जूसी एंड यू कैन हिट इट हार्ड, यू कैन हिट द डेक हार्ड. पर इस बार थोड़ा सा चेंजेस दिख रहे हैं, ऊपर से वेदर जो हम देख रहे हैं बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक इस सीजन में ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कभी भी मैचेस होते हैं.
Even normally it does not happen, and उसकी वजह से rain is looming large and majority.
और उसके साथ साथ व्यू भी है पिचेस पे. तो हमने जैसे जो स्पिनर हेवी जो टीम्स है ऑस्ट्रेलिया, अफगानिस्तान हो गई, श्रीलंका हो गई, उनके जो मैचेस चल रहे थे वार्म अप या क्वालिफायर जो भी है उसमें हम देख रहे हैं कि स्पिनर्स आर नॉट डूइंग एज बैड एज वी थॉट दे वुड. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ भी स्पिन नहीं हो रही है. स्पिनर्स हैव गॉट ट्रैक्शन ऑन इट ऑन द पिचेस.
And even the pitches have been a bit too paced, I believe so, because I have seen the pace bowlers using cutters and slowers very early in innings, which
In the previous match itself, the cutters of Loki Ferguson were like they were holding for more than a second or so, and
which we do not see in Australia. Mostly
it comes on pretty easy onto the bat, and they can like easily play around with that. Still say that the fact the pitches are helping the spinner or not will not matter because Rashid is the spinner, and he's one of the world's best. If they try to play him out, they'll have to attack Mujibur Rahman or Mohammad Nabi, and when these two are attacked, they tend to take wickets. It will be a battle that will happen in the second half of the match, where England's long tail will come up against this bowling unit. And if 170 is the total, I expect if Afghanistan gets there, this will be interesting. This will not be an easy win for England.
Just one contradiction to whatever you said. I agree to everything. Just one contradiction to his point. It's not a long tail. Up to Sam Curran, Lam Livingstone, they are quite competent batters.
Actually, I did not mean long tail. I said long batting order. I ended up announcing long tail. Sorry for that.
No, but it is going to be interesting क्योंकि Afghanistan is a spin heavy team. ऊपर से Australia में matches है, but the pitches are quite unpredictable this time with the dew, with the spin का जो traction मिल रहा है spinners को. With obviously England है, England doesn't have a very good repo against spin.
Yes, of course.
Such a good. It's going to be so interesting.
But actually, the batting lineup is also interesting. Because Butler is good against spin, David Milan can anchor things against spin, Harry Brook is a good player, Moeen Ali can taunt the spinners, Liam Livingstone can thrash the spinners. I am just worried about Alex Hales against spin and Ben Stokes touch.
Ben Stokes anyways is not at his best. Right?
Yeah, in T20 Ben Stokes has never really been.
He's half the player.
At least make statements that I can react to with ease. Ben Stokes is half the player.
Ben Stokes in T20 cricket is half the player, but I still believe that he would be important to this squad in this tournament.
Even half the Ben Stokes is good enough.
Yes, I would
take
believe
you
so.
through.
Not take you through, he will have the contributions.
No. He can still take you through because he can do what his team asks, and it's all about confidence. That bloke is one of the best in the world.
If we now move to directly the two big questions, I would say, what would be the...
Let me ask this, no? In the match, first of all, no, we'll take this one later, sorry. Who will be the match winner?
I think, if you talk about match winner, I would say probably Alex Hales or Josh Butler, but as an X factor, I would say as Alex Hales has not been... Sam Curran can do it with both the batting and bowling, but I think as Alex Hales have not that much been present in international cricket, I would be looking forward to him performing here in this match.
I'll have to go with Afghanistan players. I can't keep supporting the superpowers. I love underdog stories, and I hope Fazal Haq Farooqi gets Hale and Butler up top. That can make the difference. As far as who wins it, I'll go with Afghanistan.
My choice is of course England.
Okay.
Playing it safe.
So who do you predict to win this match, and who will be your match winner?
I think when we go, generic answer to yahi hoga ki England wins the match. But looking at the conditions and how things are panning out right now in Australia, I would love to see Afghanistan win this one. I would love it.
So two people supporting Afghanistan, I am going for England.
Yeah.
You're taking the safe way out.
No, I just believe that England will win the match.
Okay.
So that is it for today. अभी के लिए अब हम वापस आएंगे. Keep watching OneCricket. Like, subscribe, comment, सब करो. And we will see you soon. Thank you.